Sup shooters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out an act named VADER 2.0. And we've listened to a couple of tracks in these guys before. This is called Reflection 76. We're going to switch over to here. We're going to have a quick listen through, look through the description, awareness. We are so wrapped up. We are wrapped up so tight in our own little worlds. We live in an information age where we are indifferent to the plight of everyone else outside our span of control. Sometimes within our span of control as well. Do not take a child's silence as a sign that everything is right in the world, a phase, or that they are simply being difficult. There are often reasons for this. We just need to pay attention. This is going to be a pretty heavy ride, and we're going to do our best to sort of take it in and enjoy it. I do love the music from these guys I've listened to so far, so I don't feel as if that'll be an issue. Let's get into it. Let's hear what we think. Make it full screen. Oh. Instant mode. Off the bat, there is a real sense of tension and sadness in this. Oh, fuck, that's heavy. I love this so much. Oh, I love how those guitar lines look. I love the down tunes. I love those down tune strings. The drums are so punchy. It's so on point. I love the album art too. That is pretty dope. I dig it. I can't get over this guy's vocals. I would give so much to be able to do what he does with his voice. I'm so blown away by how talented these guys are. It's not easy to do that kind of low and high pitched growly stuff. It's really not. You've got to really have a really good technique for it. Because if you don't do it properly, you're going to completely screw your vocal cords. The fact that this guy does it that effortlessly is something to behold, and it suits the tonality of these guitar, bass, and drums so well. Suits the tone of the content. Hey, those cleans were quite nice. That was a nice vibrato there, eh? Nice little bit of grit in there. So brutal. I gotta focus on the lyrics though. Got a real kind of Periphery 2010 vibe. Alright. Brutal. This kind of like messing around with the accents and the main beat on that percussion is kind of dope. Dope lyrics, man.
No, I'm not. Okay. Is this really you?
Kind of a question answer thing. This is interesting.
No, it's not. Interesting. What does this hurt? Yeah. Quite a lot. Okay, fine. So should I set you free? Yeah.
Are we going? Yeah. I can vibe with this. It's sort of a desperation and fury and frustration in their delivery there, you know? I can only assume it's talking about just how there's someone they're in danger. They're being attacked. They're having a really difficult time coping with everything going on. And they just don't want to have to deal with that bullshit anymore. You know what I mean? They just don't have to deal with that. I think a lot of people will be able to sort of look at these lyrics and kind of get understanding of what's going on, and sort of, obviously not to the same degree, because everyone has a different story, but I think people will be able to sort of relate to it in their own way. I love this guy's clean vocals. I love his growly vocals. He's a diamond. This band needs to keep him on. The band really needs to keep this guy on. Don't let him go. Especially like if this is the story written by the vocalist, you know, these lyrics written by the vocalist, that's their story, and they're able to sort of communicate it so eloquently and in a way that is just so, works with the music so well. I just love it so much. I'm so blown away by how professional this is. This sounds like a major label release. I really hope these guys do get to tour and all that when things open up a bit more. No sympathy for my enemies, no empathy for the paranoid. Those are clever lyrics, because you're not feeling sorry for the people that just completely rain on your parade all the time, treat you like crap. But you're also not trying to understand those people that are constantly afraid of what's going to happen in their own heads. Those guitar lines, those leads on top of that rhythm riff are so gentle and so loving and caring. I'm glad they've come in at the end where he sort of concluded that he doesn't have to sort of live with that anymore, that he can move past the current situation, that he'll be able to escape one day. You know, I love the fact that those loving lead lines have come at that point, that sort of go with the fury of the rhythm guitars and everything else that sort of represent just the emotion, the raw emotions from the terrible time that they're having. You know, like, and that end, that kind of, that amount of reverb and all that at the end. You know, when we look at do not take a child's silence as a sign that everything is right in the world, a phase, or that they are simply being difficult, there are often reasons for this. We just need to pay attention. You know, I could see like that question and answer thing is basically asking to that child, are you okay with this? Do you really want to have, you know, like, is everything actually okay? Do you need someone to help you? It's brutal that children have to deal with this, especially if their parents aren't able to cope. The song is about being your own worst enemy and not realizing it. It's about what we think is helping us better ourselves. That may work in some situations, but not for all of them. Some children are impressionable and do what they have to survive. A child can be his own bully just to please others. Yeah, that's a big point as well, because some kids will convince themselves that they deserve the punishment when they don't, just as a coping mechanism, because otherwise it's just too confusing. They tend to blame themselves for things that are truly not their fault, and if you don't love them, don't have any. Brutal. But true, if you don't like kids, don't have kids. I get the feeling that this was an incredibly personal thing for VADER 2.0. And it's probably something that was not easy to write, was not easy to communicate. But I think that opening themselves up as musicians and showing us who they are as people is an incredibly important. Because otherwise, if you're constantly keeping that wall up, you never truly get to know who they are, and it just doesn't. It's hard to really. I'm sorry that they had to go through this. It's really horrendous. A lot of rock and a lot of metal exists because of the pain that people go through. It's just the reality of the situation. It's therapeutic, But at the same time, it's a shame that it needs to happen in the first place. But I just hope things are better for Vader now. That they did manage to escape it eventually and get away from that horrendous sort of time that they were having. And yeah, I'm gonna need to do some editing with this review because I'm kind of blabbering on a bit. But I wish Vader 2.0 the best of luck in future. This was an incredible song. It's just a shame that Reflection 76 that this all had to occur. But yeah, flawless release, flawless music. I can't fault it. One of the most authentic metal singles I've heard in quite a while. And that was my review of VADER 2.0 Reflection 76. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do support. Please check out their various social medias and their YouTube. Stay cool, stay safe. Please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. I think people are still having a bit of a rough time at the moment and they need all the help they can get. And I'll catch you next review. Spiderhands up.